also not talking about is why aren't we incorporating the cost of all the funeral expenses of those who die because they can't afford access to health care? That is part of the cost of our system. Why don't we talk about the cost of reduced productivity because of people who need to go on disability, because of people who are not able to participate in our economy, because they're having issues like diabetes or they don't have access to the health care that they need. I think at the end of the day, we see that this is not a pipe dream. Every other developed nation in the world does this. Why can't America? And that is the question that we need to ask. We have done these things before. We write unlimited blank checks for war. We just wrote a $2 trillion check for that tax cut, the GOP tax cut, and nobody asked those folks how are they going to pay for it. So my question is, why is it that our pockets are only empty when it comes to education and health care for our kids? Why are our pockets only empty when we talk about 100% renewable energy that is going to save this planet and allow our children to thrive? We only have empty pockets when it comes to the morally right things to do. But when it comes to tax cuts for billionaires and when it comes to unlimited war, we seem to be able to invent that money very easily. And to me, it belies a lack of moral priorities that people have right now, especially the Republican Party.
Well, and that's why there are elections. They have consequences. You will make your argument.
Okay, shut up, Chris Cuomo. First of all, that was amazing. That was incredible. I mean, I've heard it explained by a lot of people. I've tried to explain the theory behind, social democratic policies myself. I don't know if I've ever heard the argument for healthcare and education put so succinctly and totally flipping the question on its head. And she's 100% right. When there's war, nobody asks how we're going to pay for it. Tax cuts. Nobody asks how we're going to pay for it. Just general military spending. Nobody asks how we're going to pay for it. And Donald Trump, just pulled $12 billion out of his ass to pay the farmers that he screwed over with his horrible trade deal. She put that so perfectly. That interview made my whole day. I mean, she did an amazing job. I cannot wait till we can officially send her to Congress. All right. So, let's go to another person, actually, that we had on the show a while ago. Sarah Smith, you may remember her. She's running for the House of Representatives in Washington's 9th District. And she had her primary on Tuesday. But it is dragging out till today, which is currently Friday, actually. And still not totally done. So here we go. Here's an article about it from the Seattle Times. Representative Adam Smith, Democrat from Bellevue, might face a challenge from the left this fall, as Democratic candidate Sarah Smith pushed into second place in the primary as new votes were counted Thursday. Sarah Smith had trailed Republican Doug Baszler on election night, but later ballots have trended her way. She moved to a 198-vote lead on Baszler as more King and Prince County ballots were tallied. Quote, "See y'all in November," she tweeted, later adding that there were still many votes to count and that she was cautiously optimistic. All right. So, in Washington, apparently they have a primary system where the top two move on to the general, regardless of party. Originally, I had forgotten that, or maybe I didn't. I can't remember if I knew it or not. And Tom didn't know it. He tweeted out, a tweet about, keep fighting the good fight and blah, blah, blah. And several people pointed out, oh, no, actually, she might be in the general election. So, apologize for that tweet. We should have known, but we didn't know the election rules. But I have to say, I am really fucking excited about this. Because I think if she has more time to campaign, there are going to be more votes that go her way. And Adam Smith, much like Joe Crowley, is a over 20-year incumbent from that district. And now is the time for change, and this is what we're pushing for. So, if let's hope that Sarah Smith advances to the general election. And if she does, everybody in Washington's 9th District, please get out and vote for her in November, okay? That's all I got to say about that. Great candidate. Let's move on. So I was doing some work today, and a little notification popped up on my computer screen. And I looked over, and it was CNN, and CNN, sends a bunch of those notifications that most of the time, well, I'm afraid to look at because of the current administration. But this one made me laugh. It said, Vice President Mike Pence advances plan to create a Space Force. Space Force. Yeah. Space Force. So here's an article in the New York Times about this so-called Space Force. Vice President Mike Pence prompted a proposed space command on Thursday as, quote, an idea whose time has come. By the way, they know we already have NASA, right? In comments at the Pentagon to unveil a few more details about President Trump's plan to create another military force, this one for outer space, for it to be in operation by 2020. Mr. Trump's space dreams still could have to go through a divided Congress to come true, but initially reluctant Pentagon officials have lined up behind the proposal and now say that they do want it to come to fruition. Oh, my God. Okay, here's what Mike Pence said. The time has come to write the next great chapter in the history of our armed forces. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. I'll try to do a Mike Pence accent. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. All right. So the time has come to write the next great chapter in the history of our armed forces to prepare for the next battlefield. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The next battlefield is in space, where America's best and bravest will be called to deter and defeat a new generation of threats. Oh, my God. Okay. That's Mike Pence. Trump, for his part, posted a tweet on Thursday, quote, Space Force all the way. Space Force all the way. I actually quote tweeted that, and I said, to senility and beyond. I don't know. It sounded clever at the time. Shut up. I know. It's not that great. So Donald Trump, and apparently Mike Pence for some reason, is helping to create a new branch of the military, a Space Force, because apparently space is where the new battlefield is going to be. I knew it was the final frontier, but I didn't know it was where we were going to fight our battles from now on in space. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm being cynical. Maybe there's something to this. Fight the wars in outer space so we don't destroy property, just kill people the way war was intended to be. No, but seriously, what is happening? Why is Space Force? And we already have NASA. Let NASA do their thing. But the problem is that NASA does a lot of climate change studies, and that is not good for people who deny climate change. So why not create a new branch of the military, the Space Force? I mean, other than the fact that it's an incredibly dumb idea that's going to waste tons of money. Look, we have no money for illegals. We have no money for healthcare. Even though we have the best healthcare, we have no money. But let's build a giant expensive wall and shoot soldiers into space. Sounds good. Sounds good, Mike. I mean, seriously, this is insane. Oh my God. Anyway, so I don't know what they're going to do with the Space Force. It just boggles my mind. But I wanted to move on real quick before we end the segment. TYT, the Young Turks, for people who don't know who TYT is, they have a channel called Rebel Headquarters. And they sent out their reporter, Emma Vigeland, to ask Trump supporters why they like him at a MAGA rally in Tampa. Let's just listen to a little bit of what they have to say, because sometimes it is enlightening to hear how the other side thinks.
First of all, what drew him to me was the fact that he was not a politician. He was outside the realm of the politicians. He was from a different group, business group. And
criminal money laundering group. Sorry, had to correct him.
And so therefore, he was going to bring in new ideas, something different, because whatever we've had hasn't been working in the last 30 years.
Okay. That's true. It hasn't been working. I mean, he has no intention of fixing it, but it's true it hasn't been working.
So what attracted you to Trump in 2016, and has he lived up to your expectations?
Absolutely, if not above and beyond, I believe.
Specifically, policy-wise, what has spoken to you?
Economically, I mean, I think he's, he says what he says, and he gets it done. And I believe it. And I think maybe he might get a Nobel Prize for it, too.
Yeah, I vote.
Nobel. It's not a Nobel Prize. I mean, it is. But okay, never mind. Let's just keep going.
For him because he believed in most of everything I believed in. Second Amendment, the wall. He's been very good with...
I find it hard to believe this guy believed like he had this belief system in a giant wall, a giant, stupid, pointless wall, before the orange moron said it from a campaign stage. I have a hard time believing that. Maybe it's true. I mean, they are insane, but anyway, let's keep going.
Creating more jobs for America.
Donald Trump, being a businessman, has used his knowledge and gotten rid of the corruption that's been in Washington for a long time.
Oh, my God.
He's making smart, sound decisions.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes maybe not the right wording, but he's trying to run the country like a business, and he's setting us on the right path to prosperity.
You don't
Everything was wrong.
worry about the bankruptcies at all in his past? No.
Everybody's had problems in the past, and to become rich, you got to go through your ups and downs.
He was born rich. He didn't have to go through ups and downs. He's just an idiot.
And he's come out of it every time, and he's a proven winner.
No, he hasn't.
He's never stops. He's always busy, doing what he wants to do, keeping his promises.
Okay, well, he is busy doing what he wants to do, which is apparently playing golf. He hasn't kept, I don't think, any of his promises. I mean, apart from the really racist ones. I mean, those are his favorite. Okay, I'll give you that. And that's probably this guy's favorite, too. All right, good, continue.
What specifically about foreign policy spoke to you?
That he would meet with a Putin, that he would confront North Korea, that he would go out with Xi and all these guys. He's meeting with them.
I think he has lived up to those things. The fact that he was a pro-life, pro-military, those are two big things that are important to me. So
you like that he's increased the military budget significantly?
Yes.
He has
Very
more than
position.
come up to my expectations. See this? Absolutely. I have been out campaigning for him. I love him. We saw him at the White House over 4th of July. Him and Melania. I was in tears. He's wonderful.
Well, I didn't.
Wow. Let's never meet that lady.
Actually vote for Donald Trump in 2016, but I watched throughout the election, and I just felt like I couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump based on their experience and the reputation. And then once Donald Trump started doing what he wanted to do and really got into power, I noticed that everything that he said he was going to do, he actually did.
Again, not true.
So what specifically did he do that spoke to you?
He reformed taxes.
He cut taxes for rich people.
He, started going against Obamacare because I didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't. I mean, he did what all the Republicans have done is, try to kill it with 1,000 tiny cuts, but he couldn't repeal it.
Didn't really think that Obamacare was good for the middle class.
Do you think that Medicare for all is a good option, or do you just want private insurance?
I believe you could do something similar to Canada where it is Medicare. There is a version of Medicare for all, but then they also have the ability to have private health care if you choose to pay for it.
Okay, so this guy's not a total idiot.
Hey, I feel like that's what Bernie Sanders is promoting right now.
What drew me to Donald Trump is